Hi, my name is Andrew Patterson. I'm so excited to share with you breaking the chain of the comparison syndrome. This is something that is truly near and dear to my heart, something that I go through, still go through, to be honest. Like I was gonna say in the past, but let's be honest, I still go through it time to time. It's like that person that you don't really want to pop up in your life, but they still pop up, but you love them because Jesus said, love all your neighbors. It's like that. And so I'm excited just to talk with you about potential opportunities to break those chains, to not be bound by them anymore, to not be stuck by them anymore. And so one of the things that I want to bring forth today is the social comparison theory, right? The theory is the idea that people determine their own social and personal worth based on what other people have, right? So picture this, right? You are basing how you do in life, you're basing your success in life, you're going to determine that based on somebody else and how you compare to them, even though you don't really know their entire life or their background, right? So here are some of the things that you can compare. You could be comparison in cars, in boats, in houses, in relationships, in marriages, in your faith. There's so many things that you can compare that you're not going to be able to live up to. And so one thing I want to do is I want to go through the 3 stages that typically you go through when you're going through the comparison syndrome, right? Stage 1 is the recognition stage. Okay, this is when you recognize somebody that you're like, man, they are doing it. They're balling, right? They're the people that you look up to because you want to be at their level. And so when you recognize them, you're in stage 1. And now stage 2 is that conversion stage, right? That connection stage. By connection, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to connect with them as in verbally or physically, but it could be something as simple as a podcast. You could be reading their book. There's material that you read in some sort of magazine. Right? There's so many different ways to actually connect with that individual. Like a lot of people say that they have mentors that they don't never talk to. Now, don't get me wrong, the one-on-one meeting, talking to them over the phone, that's part of connection. But that's when you start to learn about them. You start to dive in and see what they did to get to the top. You saw where they got to maybe be where you want to be. And so you start to invest money, you start to invest time, and you start to almost build this relationship to where inside that heart, you're like, wow, I wanna be like that. I wanna go down the path that they went down. I wanna go through the tough thing. Mind you, you're saying this before it even happens, right? And stage 2 is a pretty pivotal point because you could either go in one direction or you could go in the other. And that is stage 3. All right, stage 3 is that imitation stage. This is the hard stage. This is where you forget who you are. Right? So you're in that imitation stage. And you're trying to be like that person. Because you feel like that if you model exactly what they do every second of every day, you're going to be there. You're going to have what they have. And you feel like that you're going to be better off. Right? And so that's why I think stage 2 is so critical, because stage 3, you could obviously go the positive way that we're going to talk about later, or you could go that way to where you lose yourself, where you become intimidated by that person, but you want to be that person. There's so many emotions that get bottled up in what you're trying to do. Right? And so one of the things I think is it's hard to be who God made you if when you look in the mirror, you're looking at someone else, right? I want you to really, really dive into that. It's hard to be who God made you if you look in the mirror and you're looking at somebody else, right? God made us just for such a powerful reason. So many gifts that we were given, so many opportunities that we were given that we feel like that we have to take somebody else's when you have your own powerful gifts. Okay, so here's some questions I want you to write down. right? I want you to write these down and answer them on that sheet of paper. All right, have you ever changed your vision because it didn't sound good enough? What is holding you back from your goals? Why are you allowing others to be your puppet master, right? Meaning, why are you letting other people pull those strings? Why are you letting them determine who you are, where you're going? All right? If no one was here to judge you, or the people that were here, it was impossible for them to judge you, all right, what would your definition of success be? And what would be your vision for your life? Okay, I want you to really, really ponder that. So the next thing I have, I want to read to you is Romans chapter 12. All right, I love this. Romans chapter 12 is all about comparison syndrome, directly and indirectly. Okay, so Romans chapter 12, verse 2, it says, "Do not copy the behavior and customs of this world, but let God transform you into a new person by changing the way you think." Right? Don't copy the world. Don't copy that person down the street. Don't copy that person that you feel like is doing it up big, or you're going to miss out on what you have to offer. If you're copying someone else, you're going to miss out on what you have to offer the world. Right? And that's going to be unique because you're unique as an individual. You're a unique person. You have to be because there's nobody else like you. So if you want to be like somebody else, then how is your gift going to get out into this community, get out into this world, right? And I want to tell you my story a little bit. When I started out in business, I found the mentor, right? Man, he was doing it up big. I had a gym, and he had such a massive gym. It was awesome. He had people flowing. His systems were great. People loved him. There was energy. He worked from 6 a.m. all the way to 6 a.m. again, all day long, didn't stop, right? And so, but I had that comparison. I would look at him. I would look at the Instagram superstars. I would look at the Facebook superstars. Until one day, it broke me. I was in a parking lot in the building I normally go into. There's this church that they have room open to where we can go in there, do some work. And I was just sitting in the parking lot. And I just remember I broke down and started crying because I felt like I wasn't good enough. I felt like that I couldn't do anything. I felt like I was stuck, like I was frozen, like my feet were in cement. And I couldn't go anywhere. All because I couldn't do what that guy did. Even though it took him 12 years, I was upset I couldn't do it in 1 month. Right? And that's the other thing that comparison does. Is comparing forces you to try to accelerate where you're trying to go. It forces you to accelerate the learning period. The period that's tough, that tough period where you're getting shaped. I was trying to fast forward through that because of comparing. Right? Even if I fast forward through that, right? Imagine if 100 members got in my gym. We were rocking and rolling. Would I have been ready for it? Would I have been ready to take on that clientele and grow that clientele? I honestly don't know if I would have been able to. But like I said, that's what happens when you are comparing. That's what happens when you get stuck. All right, and so now I want to tell you some of the awesome things. That if you can get out of that bubble of comparing, here's some of the awesome things that you're going to realize. You're going to be able to create a morning routine that works for you. All right, you're going to be able to create a system that works for you. You're going to be able to exploit your talents. You're going to be able to set a vision that you can be proud of because it came from that heart. And you can define your own version of success. You don't have to be stuck on somebody else's version of success. And you can own it. You can own every piece of what you make out of it. All right, and so I want to go back to Romans 12 one more time. All right, because there's another verse in here. Sorry, guys, I actually have to look down at my Bible because I don't remember every verse that's in here. I apologize. So let's go to chapter 12. This time we're going to go to verse 6. It says, "In grace, God has given us different gifts for doing certain things well. So if God has given you the ability to prophesy, speak out with as much faith as God's given you. If your gift is to serve others, serve them well. If you are a teacher, teach well. If your gift is to encourage others, be encouraging. If it is to give, then give generously. There's more to go that goes to that. But I think you get the purpose. Be who God made you to be. And do it with such fervency, with such excellence, that you start to shut everybody else out. And so I want to go back through those 3 stages. But I want to go back in a way that we're able to talk about a way that you can break free from it. A way that you can go through those 3 stages, but do it on a powerful way, right? So when we find that person, we find them, let's see where their values are. See if they even align with you. Learn more about that person. See what they have to offer you. Okay, because one of the things I want to say, grass is not greener on the other side. The grass is greener where you water it. So this is an opportunity to have somebody help you water it. Not go to their grass and have them help you water it. Now the next thing, focus on the principles, not the details. So when you're starting to study these people, when you study their podcasts, their books, or you go one-on-one, study the principles. Because remember, you're not the same person. You're not running the same race. But solid principles are a way that you're going to be able to put that into your everyday life, into your morning routines. Just a little, because their details came up because it's their life. They've went through the struggle. They went through the hurt. They've been shaped by their culture. They've been shaped by childhood. And so these things are just, they're going to come out of nowhere, and you're going to start to see who you are. But you're going to be able to take those principles and develop them into your own. And right there, that's powerful. That's power. That's taking back the power of comparison and putting the onus on yourself. Taking that leadership tenacity and moving forward with it. All right, and so finally, make sure you're self-aware. That is the biggest thing that I can tell you. The way you're going to be able to remove comparison syndrome is be self-aware of who you are. Like for me, I try to always take everybody's morning routine, right? It was like 10 different people. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do that morning routine. Guess how many times I failed, guys? 10 times. Because none of them were my routine. None of them I could take ownership of. None of them really helped me or pushed me or compelled me for greatness. Until I got my own morning routine. Until I learned about my work block. Like for me, guys, I get up at 5:45. I spend time with the Lord. I get that cup of coffee. I meditate in His Word. Sometimes I listen to a leadership podcast. But I know that my best work block is between 6 in the morning and 12 p.m. That's my best work block for creativity. Now, if I have to do events, things like that, I'm fine with doing that at night, right? But as far as creativity, work block, that's something right there that I know that is my block that I'm going to be the best at. The other thing is I can wake up early. I cannot do work past 9 p.m. Can't do it past 9 p.m. I shut down then, right? And so put those guardrails up, guys, and understand who you are. Understand your walk. Understand what your vision is, what you're trying to get to. And when you're self-aware, you're not going to fall into the trap of trying to be somebody else that you're not. And that's the powerful thing about self-awareness. Is when you start to veer off, you know that's not my values, that's not who I am. But I love those principles. I want to plug and play. So I encourage you guys to really push it, to really be able to take it to a whole nother level that you didn't think you could take it. One of my favorite quotes is "Be yourself. Everybody else is already taken," by Oscar Wilde. All right, be yourself. Everybody else is already taken, so you have to be yourself. And that's such a powerful thing. And so where I'm at in my journey, guys, is I have guardrails up. I know I'm self-aware, but it still pops up. There's times I see somebody on the internet, I'm like, wow, why can't I just be there? I can see it. Why can't I do it right now? And sometimes I have to pull myself away. When those things happen, take a break from social media. Take a break from mentors. Take a break from business books. Even if it's a week, 2 weeks, you have to reset your heart. You have to reset your mind. All right, and so, I want to tell you guys what I do a little bit. I'm part of the FCA, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. To where we're going to and through the coach to spread Jesus Christ throughout our community. To use sports as a platform to impact our youth athletes, to be there for them, to love on them, to meet them where they're at, to encourage them and to build them up. Most of all, build a relationship. And just pour our core values, be there to listen and love on them. All right, and so I'm always looking for people to share this with, people who may be willing to partner. You can always get my information, but I appreciate this opportunity. I hope you guys learned something from this. All right, I'm learning something from this every day. Don't make this an excuse not to start. All right, you're going to take your licks. You have to get back up. You're going to compare. You have to regain control and separate who you are as a person compared to that mentor, compared to that person that you're reading about. All right, we don't know the surface of that person. We don't know what they're going through. So I encourage you guys, I want you to go through those questions I asked you earlier, write them down, and reflect on them. All right, so I appreciate this opportunity. If you guys want to reach out either about this or about the FCA to learn more, my contact information will be up. I hope you guys have a blessed rest of your night or day.